What up, world? Man, it's been a journey. I just watched a video. I think her name is Shine Shun Tarot or something like that. Sorry, baby, I forgot your name. I just finished watching it. I just made a little short video from it. It kind of described my whole life story and all the people around me and how my family been to me. But I'm gonna title this video here, "What's Special About Me?" Part 2. And it's been a month, 2 months since I made the first video, and I don't know why I'm like this, but video 1 really takes up after this video, and this is video 2. I don't know why I do stuff like that. But what's special about me? Part 2. One thing about me, I never been loved by my family, not even by my mom. She didn't even show me that kind of love and affection that a child needs, like hugs and stuff like that. My mama was not a hugger, and never a loving hug or respect from my family in my life, never. And it starts like this. It says, as a child, my mama would dress me up, and like she would have people to come over, and I would talk to them. I don't know what I was saying. I was impressive. I was entertaining to them, and it was all about spiritual stuff. I could tell. I can't remember what was going on. My 2 older sisters, they were there watching, and this was maybe about 4 or 5 times that I can remember. I was only like 3 or 4 years old, and my mom would be so impressed and smiling, and the people, they would be laughing and enjoying themselves. And I remember the times of her putting my clothes on me, you know what I'm saying, and getting me ready for it. But her mind was on the purpose. It wasn't really on me. But I would go in and I would impress. I would just be myself. And I remember one time we lived in a little shotgun house in Bessemer, Alabama, and my 2 oldest two sisters, they were standing in the doorway. Joanne was on this side, and Annie Faye was on this side, and I was standing with my back to them, and the front door was like on through the room, right on this side, and they were impressed. I mean, the people were laughing and enjoying themselves. Like I said, I can't understand what was going on, but it was something spiritual. I knew I was special. And I looked back at my sisters. They were standing in the doorway, and my oldest sister had a frown on her face. She was looking at me like this. And my other sister was standing there just looking like this. And the next memory I have, like I said, my mom worked for white folks, so she wasn't there with us much. And we were all on the front porch. Me, my older sister, my whole family, all 8 of us. And they were laughing and joking. I stepped up and I said something to my older sister, and I guess I don't know, it hit her wrong. She looked at me. She grabbed me and pulled me to her, and she embarrassed me. And then she backstabbed me. And then she embarrassed me again. And then she backstabbed me again at the same, like within a minute. And my whole family just laughed at me and humiliated me. And it made me pull away from my family. And I used to spend time on the back porch while they were on the front porch. All the time. It separated me from my family. And from there until now, man, I still can feel, that separation. But I was raised in chaos and ridicule from the age of about 2 years old to about 19 years old. And it was total chaos. I was sexually molested by two older girls. They were like neighbors of ours. These were two separate events. And I was laughed at then, both times. I was only a child. I didn't understand. I was only about 9 years old. And that kind of made me afraid of women. So I was kind of weird towards women all through my teens. But my mom gave me to my dad's mom at about 8 years old. I went to live with her, and that was absolute hell there. So I already came from a background of having humiliation rituals done on me by my family, picked on, talked about. And I went to live with a very abusive grandmama that never hugged me a day in her life, never said a kind word to me a day in her life. And she would beat me just for the sport of it. And then she would get on the telephone with her friends and laugh and talk about it while I sat there and watched. But let's see, she destroyed my self-confidence and self-worth. I mean, I lived with her from the age of 18, from the age of 8 to 14 until she died. Abuse became normal for me. She took pleasure in breaking me and breaking my heart and making me cry. She wouldn't stop until I cried, until I just gave up and I just became very submissive. And she made me extremely timid and fearful to live life and to be around people. And like I said, she died at about 14. I would go to my family's house to see my mom and just like visitation. And I was just extremely quiet and shy. And when she died, when I was about 14, I moved back with my family. And let's see, I moved back with my family at 14, where I would get talked about and mocked every day by my oldest two sisters. They would sit on the porch, and every time they saw me, they had something to say about me. They talked about me like a dog. I was already broken. But shoot, until one day at about 16 years old, I snapped on them. I mean, I've just changed my character, shoot. And when I snapped on their butts, they called me crazy then. I just wanted them off of me. So shit, I just got very mean, and I got mean with everybody. And let's see, after that, they started talking behind my back. But being that gifted child that I was, I had some kind of gift. And I heard some people say when I was a kid that I was going to be a generational curse breaker. And my sister, my next to the oldest sister, I heard her say that you're a generational curse breaker. I didn't have no idea what that meant at all. But that I think I was maybe about 21, 22, something like that when I started hearing that. And next to the oldest sister, she's extremely religious. She's a ordained minister, and she said, "You're gonna preach one day." She told me that I spent the night over her house one day. She said, "You were preaching in your sleep," So she was trying to drive me to being a minister. But let's see. Then they started talking about me behind my back. Being a gifted child, I could feel it. I mean, I could feel it. I felt very uncomfortable around them because I can feel when somebody talking about me. I can feel it. And Still to this day, they send me negative energy, and they mock me and they lie on me. Uh, I got proof of all of it. I can make a personal video talking about it, but it's not that important for me. At 17, my best friend, I was already down, shy, a follower, a extreme people pleaser. But I was a little bit on the mean side. I didn't take no junk from nobody. Don't bother me and I won't bother you. But at about 17, my best friend at that time introduced me to a very promiscuous young lady. And I think he had already told her what the mission was. Pop my cherry. You know what I'm saying? But I fell it head over heels in love with the girl. And she destroyed me emotionally and rejected me. So that's more added on to the misery in my life that I had already underwent. That made me even shyer and even more withdrawn. And not only with women, and I already had problems with women from, the older women messing with me, but from people altogether. So at about 17, I kind of, I was extremely quiet and in my head. I was in my head big time. And I was sure enough mocked then and talked about and called crazy and everything. You know what I'm saying? And the first girl that I kind of like had a relationship with, I was with her about 7 years. We had 2 kids. And then I started gaining a little confidence, and I hadn't had no experience, so I met another girl, and I left that woman for my wife. And I was with my wife for 27 years. And that right there was a journey by itself. I'm gonna write a book about it. But right here I was mentally disturbed, mocked, and lied on. And I can feel all of that energy. I just carried weight in my spirit. And I'm so glad I'm moving through this kind of quick. So, like everybody else, I turned to religion. But unlike everybody else, I took religion serious because I was already gifted. But other people around me, they didn't take it serious. They played the game like a lot of people play the game with religion. But I was serious about it. And that made me even more of a weak people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like religion had me messed up like this. I felt like by helping and pleasing people, I was pleasing God. That was my thought. And from a child, I always wanted to be wealthy. So I dreamed of becoming an inventor because I was extremely gifted, mechanically. I love to learn all different kind of things. I would walk to the library and get books. I had all kinds of books in my house. Books on mathematics and physics and stuff like that. At about 17 years old. At about 17, my mom's car broke down. She had the oil changed and somebody left the oil filter a little bit loose. So it loosened up a little bit more and the oil just went out everywhere and it locked the engine up. And at 17, I rebuilt the engine. It might have been about 16 until I turned 17. I rebuilt the engine for my mom's car. And she trusted me and spent her last little money on the parts for it. But I got that car running and she drove it until she traded it in. And that same friend that I was talking about that introduced me to that girl, he was still around. He would come to, help me move the motor and stuff like that. He didn't stick around to do much else. It was pretty much all on me. But I did. I crunked the car up and she drove it until she traded it in. But about that time, like I said, about 18, I met my first girlfriend at a summer job, and we had 2 kids together. And let's see, I was deeply in poverty. I mean, it was poor where I came from. We ate the mayonnaise sandwiches and drunk the sugar water. We were joking about that at the Magic City Classic not too long ago. I think last weekend. Uh, let's see. Let's see. I was born with gifts, so I love to learn. So throughout all of the poverty and abuse and the heartache, I stayed hopeful, but I had trouble getting along with others because no one had ever shown me kindness until I met Jesus in my mid-30s. Like I said, I was religious from about 18 and fearful of God, like they teach in religion. So I don't expect any trouble from me. I'm always going to try to do the right thing. I had the right heart, but I wasn't kind at all. But in my mid-30s, right here in this house, that same best friend, his pastor was doing an evangelism thing, and that pastor came to my house with 2 other people, and they talked to me and my ex-wife, and they converted us to Christianity. I felt in my heart, I felt God touch my heart through Jesus that day. I was probably about 36 or something like that. And I put in here, and that's where the video title part 1 begins. If y'all watch part 1, that started that journey of me ending up sitting in that chair in that room in there and asking for wisdom. And God gave me that wisdom, and He showed me to judge by love and to live by faith. And being a real believer, I took a chance and I did that. And that changed my life. And right now I sit here with all of that heartache I went through, with all of the family trouble, all of the negative energy that's been sent my way, all the lies that's been told on me, all the heartache and despair, all of the not being able to get along with people, not even get along with my wife, my ex-wife, and my previous baby mama. You know, God healed me. And I got here, God healed me, and He's still healing me. He gave me wisdom and understanding. He taught me how to forgive everyone involved. He showed me my enemies and what to do. He showed me my enemies and what they did to me and how to remove myself from them. He taught me how to call my energy back and call my power back. He taught me how to balance my energy. He taught me how to make my own medicines and to heal my body. Most of all, He freed me from religion. Now, God wants me to help others heal. So that's my mission, y'all. I just got through watching a video from, like I said, that woman, what is it called? Shine Shun. And she talked about all of the stuff I went through, all the things that my family, my ex-best friend, my ex and my best friend, and she talked about all of that. But I'm trying to keep these videos at about 20 minutes, and I'm right at 20 minutes. But I'm healed, and I have no problem with nobody in the world. And all of my past hurts and everything, I've forgiven all of that, you know. And it's possible to forgive. And she talked about, in that video she made, she talked about me and a powerful friend that was protecting me. we were working together to help change my energy. And that powerful friend, y'all, is Jesus. But Jesus, I'm not saying Jesus is God. Jesus tried to lead us to God. You know what I'm saying? So the real one true God, I know him. And I trust him. And I love him. And I follow him. And Jesus, that's my friend. Thanks.